Head into the strategy room. I should be glad to show you in. K'nekotein, you are ever a sight for sore eyes.
Ill tidings, my friends. I dispatched the temple knights to find the clergyman who aided in Bishop Vartinoix's summoning attempt. Regrettably, when confronted, all turned and had to be put down.
Without their accounts, how then to ascertain that the clone and Vaindreau are the same individual?
Maintaining the assumption that they are, perhaps we should instead consider how Vaindreau may have found his way to coerce us. According to K'nekotein's vision, he was abandoned in Oz's law. But what did he do afterwards?
Then there is but one way to ascertain the truth. We follow his trail. I shall go and search for the clone in Oz's law. If he is still there, then we are dealing with a different individual.
A splendid idea. We'll leave the floating continent in your capable hands. Meanwhile, K'nekotein and I shall retrace Vaindreau's steps whence he first appeared. Upon being found in the Central Highlands, he was taken to Camp Dragonhead. Let us begin by making inquiries there.
Investigating the stranger we found, are you? I wasn't involved myself, so I can't tell you much about the fellow. But in case it is of interest, earlier the same day, I caught sight of an airship flying dangerously low. It soon disappeared into the brewing snowstorm, looking none too steady.
Your exchange with Theo Balin has taught you about an airship flying low.
I do wonder what that airship was about, and what became of it. I don't believe we were expecting any to pass through that day.
Well now, if it isn't the late Lord Hao-Chefant's dear friend, is there something you require? Ah yes, the mystery man. I was among those who tended him. He was not attired for the snow, much less the snowstorm in which he had been caught, and was suffering from frostbite. When people are extremely cold, they may mistakenly feel that they are warm and disrobed. That might explain his state of undress.
Your exchange with Ning has taught you about Vaindreau's state when he was found.
We took care of the man as best we could, but given his state, I expect he will need a long convalescence before he's back on his feet.
K'nekotein, old girl. When I saw you off in the Ragnarok, I had every faith that you would return, and here you are. A more dependable comrade a man could not hope for.
Lord Imanelon's spell of absence afforded me time to return to my writing. I must admit that life was rather duller without him, though not necessarily for the worse.
Ah, 'tis ever an honor to receive you. What brings you to our humble camp this day? An injured man who was found out in the wilds. Yes, I know the one. I was with the patrol that chanced into him north of here, at Providence Point. He was unconscious and in a bad way, and we hurriedly bore him back to camp. After doing what we could for him, we sent him on to the city.
Your exchange with Yael has taught you about where Vaindreau was found.
There you are. Were you able to learn aught of interest? A mysterious man found collapsed after an airship was seen flying low. Yes, the accounts I heard are consistent with yours. I for one am curious about the fate of this unknown airship. To that end, I have arranged a pair of black chocobos for us, the more efficiently to scour the area. We shall contain our search to Providence Point, where Vaindreau is said to have been found. If you are ready, let us be off. Nothing so far. Let us continue northeast. Nothing so far. Let us continue northeast. By the fury. It's the blasphemy.
His Eminence. Must protect His Eminence. You're finally awake. Halon be praised. How are you feeling? Strong enough to speak? Can you tell me your name? My name is Zephyrin. No, Charibert. Or was it Velgin? Polar Crane. So many names, swirling in my mind, and voices that reject them. Is there none they will accept? Are you all right?
Vaindreau. My name is Vaindreau.
Well now, that's the same as our infirmary. I dare say fate has guided you to us. So, Vaindreau, if you are feeling up to a little conversation, can you tell me about yourself? Anything else you remember, anything at all?
A proud son of House Jemail. Nay, a devout servant of Halon, who lives, for the rush of battle, the pleasure in inflicting pain, the attentions of maidens, to fight beside my brother in arms. A low-born runt, whose every effort went unrewarded, whose very name disqualified him from ever leading the temple knights. But his eminence raised me up, granted me a place at his side. From that day forth, I pledged my sword to his service, pledged my very being, my life to be offered up in defense of his. I am a knight, of the Heaven's Ward, sworn to protect and serve, the Archbishop.
Oh, you're a knight. Forgive me if that sounded rude, but I had no idea. And, while I realize your memories may be a bit muddled, I'm afraid I must inform you that the Heaven's Ward have not been seen in quite some time and are presumed dead, and the Archbishop, well, he is most certainly no longer of this world. But the important thing is you're safe now, and we'll help you get back on your feet. Speaking of which, let me bring some food and water. You must be absolutely famished.
The Archbishop, dead? No. No, this cannot be. How can I still be alive when he is not? I must find him. K'nekotein.
For the glory of King Torden.
Another vision, I take it. Let us make for Ishgard. I expect that Lord Artoirel will return soon, if he has not already, and we should both be glad to hear your tale.
Head into the strategy room. I should be glad to show you in. K'nekotein. I pray your search was more productive than mine own.
Everyone is here. Excellent. So, were you able to find our clone in Oz's law?
Nay, naught but the discarded Ascalon remained. How fared you with your own efforts in the Central Highlands?
In the course of retracing Vaindreau's steps, we came upon the wreck of the Soleil. I suspect he found the vessel abandoned in Oz's law and tried to use it to return to Ishgard.
But he crashed the en route and was subsequently rescued by a patrol from Camp Dragonhead.
So it would seem. And the Archbishop's airship was not the only thing we found. Profane Fafnir was there too. The creature chose to flee, but not before K'nekotein had a vision of Vaindreau's past. Go on, my friend. Share with us what you witnessed.
All the pieces fit, and it is as you surmised, my lord. Vaindreau and the clone are one and the same, and in his despair, he turned into the blasphemy. Yet the confusion he exhibited when asked his name. 'Tis as if he wasn't sure of his own identity.
According to the science, primals retain the memories of their previous incarnations. From this, it may be assumed that the clone harbors the memories of all those who became King Thordan and his Knights 12. Though he struggled to reconcile these conflicting memories, he managed to settle on the name Vaindreau. The voices within were clearly in agreement when facing K'nekotein, the mere sight of whom drove the blasphemy to flee. Above all, however, they share in the desire to protect the Archbishop. This desire was seared into Vaindreau's very being, and when he learned that he no longer had a purpose, the Heavens' Ward took up arms against us and Ishgard. By their hand were we robbed of one of our finest knights and a dear friend. Even so, I would not wish such a terrible fate upon them. The self-same fate inflicted upon full many clergymen, and a fate I fear ordinary citizens will succumb to if we fail to act. The people will not soon forget the betrayal of our church's leadership, nor should they. But absent the comfort and stability once afforded to them by the institution, many have become lost, and are all too vulnerable to despair. I thought as much myself, my friend, but to hear you say it as well. Indeed, when the ground upon which we stand crumbles, we must find the strength to move forward, even should it cause us pain to do so. Lord Artoirel, at the next House session, I shall call for an ecumenical council to be held.
My lord, such a gathering is reserved for... Oh. You intend for the Church to codify new doctrine.
Since the separation of religion and state, we have refrained from interfering in church affairs. But if the Church is to remain a part of Ishgardian society and continue serving the people, it must reconsider its role and formally address recent revelations. I would call for this council not as the Lord Speaker, but as a humble adherent of the faith. Long had I considered whether such measures were necessary, but lacked the courage to set them in motion. I now have it thanks to you. I shall tend to the necessary preparations at once. Among other things, we must reach out to those of the clergy who are amenable to reform. I ask for your patience in the meantime.